Hello everyone and welcome to the first match in the group stage for North American teams in ATOD 3. That's right, we're here for reverse captains mode, and it's going to be the, again, first match in the North American group stages. We're going to have the Infinity stack, Infinity +4, going up against Artyk, the Peruvians. Artyk going to be on the rain side. Looks like they have first pick. This is, in fact, latest version, I'm told. And that means we do have both Drow and Tuskar in the pool if teams want to pick those heroes up. We'll see if they, they get up. We get a little Tuskar action in this game. Would be kind of surprised. I think Tuskar's a little bit more powerful hero than maybe we're going to actually see in this kind of a match. But the first band's already going to be underway here, and of course they're going to be pretty unusual if you're used to watching regular competitive Dota. We got the Spectre coming out from Artyk. It looks like they just don't want to deal with that hero. Maybe not comfortable with playing him, don't want the super late game carry.
10 seconds remaining.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that pick, since Spectre is a very powerful carry when the game goes very late. And it's not hard to just give the opponent team sort of a team that can't win early bunch of carries, and they don't necessarily outcarry a Spectre anyways. We saw it work earlier for anyone who's watching the European side of the group stage. Work out well for IC Cup. Spectre on their side just eventually became too big to kill. Infinity stack deciding to ban out the Meepo with their first one. Now we're going to have Artyk thinking long, thinking hard about this second ban. Not sure exactly who they're going to want to ban out. They obviously have tons of choices when it comes to bans here. Lots of heroes that are nigh unplayable. And a little recap on the rules for those of you not familiar with ATOD while we have a moment. It's reverse captains mode, so both teams are going to be banning out heroes that they just don't want picked usually for them, and drafting heroes for the enemy team. So that means any heroes they pick, the enemy will have to play, the opposing side. That also leaves, there are a couple additional rules. Both teams have to pick at least 2 ranged heroes and 1 hero of each primary attribute. So 1 strength, 1 agility, and 1 intelligence hero.
Radiant team pick.
So we will see how that ends up working. They do have to pick up the ranged heroes. You can't just pick the 5 melee carry team because of those additional rules, and that's really why they're in place. It kind of forces the teams to adapt a little bit more in their drafting strategy. You can't just be like, well, we're going to pick like Bloodseeker, Spirit Breaker, Phantom Assassin, Riki, just a bunch of terrible melee heroes that aren't going to be able to lane it anyway. And so the ban phase is going to be done here. We're going to see both Bloodseeker and Medusa actually getting banned out. So it looks like Artyk really feeling uncomfortable with these late game carries. Like the Medusa, like the Spectre. Heroes that just basically want to rise all game, get a ton of farm, and eventually become unstoppable forces. And Bloodseeker, just a hero that he kind of doesn't have a lot of game impact. He's decent in this mode. I don't know if teams are really going to want to pick him up, because picking up a hero that can jungle effectively can be a liability, especially if the enemy team doesn't give you a hero that can really jungle as well.
Dire team pick.
Just because of the increased experience and gold you're going to be able to get just by having a dedicated jungler. And Bloodseeker is one of those heroes that, though he kind of has a lot of trouble going early, once he has a couple levels, he has the shield, maybe a Quelling Blade as well, just to do as much damage as survive. The Bloodbath can keep him in the fight in that jungle, just farming for quite some time, and eventually he's a little bit better at ganking than maybe some other teams are.
Remaining.
First pickup now did come out, I believe, from Artyk. We're going to see that Artyk's picks are going to actually appear on this side. We see the little highlighted square rectangles for where they would normally pick, but the heroes will be put onto the opposite side. So his first pick was by Artyk, and that's going to be Disruptor. So they get an intelligence ranged hero right off the bat, and they go for one that does not have stun. Choosing to just pick up one of those heroes. We saw him banned out actually in, I think, the second ban phase of the earlier match. It worked out. Yeah, he got banned out right away, so there is that, but he just doesn't have a disable, and making sure that you give the enemy team as few disables as possible is usually a pretty good thing, important thing to think about. And Artyk they're going to do, or rather Inphinity, are going to choose to pick up both Huskar and Skeleton King now for Artyk to be playing here. So Huskar, he's a ranged hero who helps fill in that role even though his range is quite short, but and is also a strength hero. Skeleton King, another strength hero. Both moderately tanky. Huskar kind of not the tankiest since he hurts himself a lot when he's using his abilities, like his ultimate and the flaming spear. Actually, burning spear. Burning spear. Okay. So going with those heroes that are kind of tanky, and Skeleton King a decent carry. He's kind of easy to kite later in the game. I didn't know Riki's face got changed. He looks so weird now. I'm assuming this is the most recent patch. Artyk now picking up Earthshaker and Riki for their second and third picks, giving them to Inphinity +4. So going to give them that range stun in the form of Earthshaker. Not sure exactly how I feel about this. With just these three heroes, they can have a pretty powerful tri-lane. The Earthshaker, the Riki, and the Disruptor can all work together moderately well. And Earthshaker does have a disable in the form of the fissure. It's a long range, and being able to drop that fissure down and block heroes out, especially since Artyk is unlikely to end up with any heroes that have escape mechanisms like Blink, on a hero like Animage or anything like that, who are just, you know, pretty survivable because of those escape abilities. And now Inphinity actually looking for their third pick here, and it's going to be Sniper going the way of Artyk. So that's another ranged hero and an agility. Leaves them looking for an intelligence, and that's the only requirement they have left to meet for Artyk. So probably looking to see Artyk ban out several of those intelligence heroes that they really don't want to deal with, as well as maybe another kind of derpy strength hero. And they're going to start off with OD as their first ban. Just trying to take out the heroes that aren't going to lane very well, don't have a lot of lane presence. Especially since they already have Sniper and Huskar, who are kind of not well known for their lane presence. At least Skeleton King has a stun. The Skeleton King stun isn't fantastic. You can't cast it a lot. You particularly have to pay a lot of attention to your mana. As you're going on in the game and you have that ultimate up, you don't want to accidentally get yourself killed and not have reincarnate mana up. And in the meantime, on the other side, Inphinity, they only have one ranged hero, but they do have one of each primary attribute picked up now. So Artyk going to be looking to give them another ranged hero, and that's really the only requirement left for them. So we'll see how the bans end up from them. It looks like they're taking out both the Morphling and the Clinks thus far. So just trying to take out some of those kind of agility carries that don't have the best impact on the game early on. Clinks can roam and gank if he gets some free farm. Maybe one, I don't know if I really like the Clinks ban. Morphling I can definitely see. He's kind of survival, has quite a few escape mechanisms, but it takes a lot of farm to really get going, to have an impact on the game. You can pick up stuff like Ethereal Blade and try to make him shotgunny, but he's probably not going to be farming as a primary carry on the team, particularly with the Riki already picked up. So he's not going to be getting just like absolute free farm to just race waves all game. Eventually just do infinite damage with all that agility.
5 seconds remaining.
And we see Artyk banning out Anti-Mage and Zeus with their last two picks. Anti-Mage,
Reserve time.
kind of surprised to see banned out. I'm not sure if they would have gone for the Anti-Mage pick for Artyk right there with Huskar and Skeleton King Sniper. It would have given them a lot of carries, but you can kind of run Sniper as a support. Huskar can jungle. It's certainly possible. Skeleton King also a hero that can jungle. Neither is particularly great at it. And the last ban coming out from Infinity Stack is going to be the Phantom Assassin. So we're going to head into the second pick phase now. Artyk, they're going to use their first pick here to pick up Faceless Void and toss it the way of Infinity Stack, giving them another melee agility carry. We'll see how they end up wanting to lane if they're just going to tri-lane Earthshaker, Disruptor, Void, maybe some Riki in the mid lane. It's not the worst way they could lane. They could also run double duels. It's not super good with Earthshaker support. And will also kind of depend on what their last pick ends up being. Riki can sort of off lane. You can use Blink to try and escape. It's not super reliable. But could certainly be a case. They could also run dual lanes in the top and bottom lanes and then just send them in. But Infinity Stack going to be receiving a last ranged hero here because they have 3 melee right now. Doesn't matter for the primary attribute as they have one of each. And now Artyk, they're going to end up with a Necrolite pick here from the Infinity stack, giving them another ranged hero. His intelligence, he's sort of seen as a carry. He kind of needs a lot of farm to get a little tanky, really, to really be involved in the game. Just being able to stand in the fights, have that health to just stand around, do a bunch of damage is definitely useful. And that does fill in their intelligence quotient. And Viper going to come up as the last pick from the Infinity stack, actually. Viper definitely a hero that can work out well for Infinity. I don't know if I really like the draft that came out from Artyk. Maybe they're thinking something I don't, but this team from the Infinity stack definitely doesn't feel as bad as it could be. And when you look at Artyk's team, it's kind of all over the place. It doesn't seem like it does much of anything. It has a lot of late game carry, a lot of right click heroes like Huskar, like Skeleton King, and Sniper, who really don't have spells to rely on. Huskar, of course, has like his ultimate as a slow that hurts himself. He has that heal ability that he can cast occasionally as the only thing that takes mana, and then his orb. Skeleton King literally only has one spell in the stun. And Sniper doesn't have a ton of going on as well. And the last pick now going the way of Artyk is going to be Shadow Fiend, actually. So this gives them another ranged hero. They're going to be facing off against 4 ranged. Maybe not the worst, and maybe another reason why they picked Skeleton King. When you have a Skeleton King, one of his biggest benefits on the team is going to be that Vampiric Aura. But Vampiric Aura not particularly good when all the other heroes on your team are ranged and can't benefit from it. So, pretty neat little draft coming out there. Makes the Skeleton King feel a lot weaker. He's going to be decent as a carry if he can get farm. It's moderately unexpected that he'll be allowed to just get farm. And who knows how they're actually going to lane this. We have Smash picking up Huskar. I believe he usually plays the mid lane for Artyk. So we'll see if that's what ends up being the case. And we're going to have a quick pause because Infinity needs to go to the bathroom, I guess. Or someone went to the bathroom. Don't know. But we can go over the players. On the Dire side, we're going to have Banana as they're listed at, but it's going to be the Infinity stack, featuring Infinity on the Viper, Clairvoyance taking up the Riki, this is the Ringer, Dignitas Universe, on the Faceless Void, Bananas in your face, oh I see, Bananas in your face, on the Disruptor, and finally KZZ, on the Earthshaker. Radiant side, that's going to be Artyk. We got Ewo taking up the Shadow Fiend, Mihawk on the Necrolite, Daiko on the Sniper, Smash on the Huskar, and finally Mystico on the Skeleton King. And Mystico needs another second. So we will have a moment to pause, and while we have that moment, we can sort of theorize on how we think they're going to lane. And honestly, in a game like this, when you're playing ATOD, the reverse draft, who really knows what they're going to want to do? My gut instinct, looking at this, we run a... I don't even know. No good way to lane Artyk's heroes. Maybe they end up with Shadow Fiend in the mid lane, Huskar jungle, and then like a safe lane solo Skeleton King, dual lane Necrolite Sniper. I don't really love it. They could also just run solo Sniper and run Skeleton King Necrolite dual lane. Probably not terrible either. They're gonna have to basically hope to run into wherever the solo lane is from Infinity stack. And we're not really sure what they're gonna lane is either. Take a quick look at their lineup, think about it. I hate this pause thing. Tante Dota Heart? Okay. But as in your face, he's on the Disruptor, and we also have KZZ on the Earthshaker. Probably going to be supports, and likely up in that top lane, just supporting a hero. I would expect that to be Universe on the Faceless Void. And then we can send Infinity into that safe lane, or mid lane, other than Clairvoyance off lane. They can also run this tri-lane aggressively. They know they're not going to really be able to contest with Artyk. They don't have any heroes that really do anything in a tri-lane. They only have a one stun, and that's on Skeleton King. Of course, they will get another stun. later on in the game when they have like the Necrolite ultimate, Sniper has a pseudo mini stun on attacks that is completely unreliable. Whereas there is the stun of the Earthshaker for the Infinity stack, and then they also have the kinetic field from Disruptor to rely on, just to hold people in place. And that allows heroes like the Riki or the Void to really get in and do some damage. Riki's a new hero icon, as well as like portrait with this face, looks so weird. I don't know if you guys have opinions on this. Feel free to complain in chat that I have no taste and you think new Riki looks awesome. Evo needs 2 minutes apparently. So we'll see if we'll be able to get going. Maybe Artyk spending some time thinking about it. This is a tactical pause. Unfortunately, Merlini isn't here on the other team, so someone will have to call him about the tactical pauses. But Tish. Dual lane sniper mid necro. Dual lane sniper mid necrolite long lane? Sure. That could certainly work. Wall plus Sand Cloud? What is Sand Cloud? They don't have Sand King. Like Sandstorm? That's not going to work. So this pause is taking quite some time, unfortunately. Artyk said they did need 2 minutes. It looks like Ham Sandwich is going to just give him that 2 minutes. And now we're all drawing smiley faces using the colon. Sweet, I guess. Ham Sandwich is like... I wanted to be sad. Everyone else got to be happy. I'm just a sad person. I guess Ham Sandwich is like passive, neutral. 8. 8. I like that. I like that a lot. I like that quite a bit. Yeah, for anyone who just showed up, and I will go over these rules again while we have this pause, since there are some people who just showed up, don't know what's going on. This is ATOD, which is a tournament sponsored by Ham Sandwich of the joinDOTA community. Thanks to him for getting this set up. It's a little more complicated this season, I guess, for the third one. We got 2 groups, the North American group and the European group. This is a game in North American's group between Infinity Stack and Artyk. The rules are as follows. It is reverse captain's mode, so each team is going to be drafting for the other. Both teams are required to select 2 ranged heroes as well as 1 hero of each primary stat. So a strength hero, an agility hero, and an intelligence hero. Once they have those heroes, if they pick a ranged strength as well as a ranged agility, and then any, or I guess a ranged or a melee, and whatever, they have 2 and 1 of each stat. The last 2 heroes can be whatever you want. Or all 5 men. If you're in doubt for laning, just jungle everyone. Hell yeah, Ham Sandwich. That is the problem. That's what I was suggesting. Maybe they're sitting here thinking about exactly how they want to run these lanes. Certainly could be an issue. It's hard to figure out, especially when the other team is drafting for you. Maybe they have something in mind how they think you're going to want to run it, and maybe you have something completely different on your mind. Shout out to joinDOTA. Sure thing, Infinity. Shout out to joinDOTA. Shout out to Unpause. Yeah, here we go. Back to it. So let's see how these teams want to lane. I think this is probably going to be one of the most interesting ways that the game can really be decided. How these lanes are going to be selected and how they end up working out for each team. Since there's so much room to kind of, move the heroes around. It looks like one of the guys isn't set to 2 minutes, which is an issue. You gotta make sure you have that delay on, guys. Otherwise the teams could cheat. You don't want to let those teams cheat. It does look like Universe heading into that mid lane thus far. On the Faceless Void. And Inphinity down the bottom lane with Disruptor, so they might be running double duels and just solo Clairvoyance in the top lane on this Riki. That's what they're looking like for the moment. Maybe not. Earthshaker's down towards that bottom lane. So it could be the infamous solo mid Faceless Void. It's a legend. Absolutely legendary. Not sure. It does look like they're running the aggressive tri-lane with the Viper, though. Really not what I would have expected. I think Viper is one of the heroes better at soloing, but at the same time he can do a lot of damage in this tri-lane. Definitely as a ranged carry is going to be able to have a little bit more impact with those right clicks than a hero like Riki, like the Faceless Void would. Clairvoyant's going to find an Invis rune, and it's pretty good too, since it looks like he's getting tri-laned up in this top lane. And it's going to be the best tri-lane. Necrolite, Skeleton King, and Dwarven Sniper. Look at these guys. They're ready. I don't even know who's farming. I'm gonna guess it's Sniper. Honestly, any one of these can be played as a support or as a carry. Both Skeleton King and Sniper are no slouches as supports. Definitely they do a little bit better with farm, but I think Sniper it's a little bit more important for him to get the farm than Skeleton King at the moment. Clairvoyance, this isn't one he's going to be wanting to see though. He's getting tri-lane. In the meantime, I'm missing mid lane. Oh, I noticed it on the map. Just missed it. Universe getting first blood on Ewo with the gank from the two supports. So the Infinity stack already setting up them kills. And they take down the Shadow Fiend, which is a pretty good hero to take down. Universe on this Faceless Void should not have a good time up against the Shadow Fiend, who's going to do definitely superior damage once he gets going. It's 70 to 46 in terms of base damage right now. And Universe, no fear whatsoever. Go, walk up, give him the time mace. Straight to his face. And kills taking place bottom as well. Apparently I need to be watching these supports because Artyk are just letting themselves get ganked at the moment. They don't have any support heroes, so none of them decided to buy wards, it would appear. And that's letting these supports just move around and get kills. And here they go back towards that mid lane once again. Ping coming out, they want to go on Ewo. Is he going to hang out in this lane and just wait there? Let himself get ganked again. He's sitting in the middle of the river. Another ward going to get dropped, trying to get some sight into that mid lane. And it looks like Ewo is checking top rune, so they're not going to be able to get him this time. And the rune is going to spawn bottom. And that's a haste rune for KZZ. We'll see if they let him pick it up or they give it to Disruptor. I think it's a little bit better on Earthshaker. So, probably just going to let him pick it up momentarily. In the meantime, Universe continuing to actually get the best of farm in the mid lane. Mostly owing to the fact that Ewo did get ganked early on, and this base damage difference early on in the game is a huge deal breaker for Ewo getting any last hits. Here comes the gank from behind once again. Fisher's going to be there after the immediate bash coming out from Universe, and that's Ewo down again. Another kill going the way of Infinity Stack, and on Universe in that mid lane, Faceless Void having a great time thus far. Clairvoyance up this top lane actually tied for last hits with the Sniper. So definitely doing well. Smash and Infinity getting a little bit of a slap fight down in the bottom lane. Doesn't look like too much is going to come from it. Smash actually has the spear for Huskar. You know, whatever, no big deal. He plays Huskar all the time. Looks like Smash going to lose his life here. Infinity gets that kill as well. So just getting those solo kills now. And here comes Disruptor in from behind once again on Ewo. Looks like he wants to go for it. The slow is there from Universe. Can they get him? Can they get him? No mana for Glimpse on Bananas in Your Face, and that's going to let Ewo just walk away. It looks like Earthshaker did rotate up towards that top lane. In the meantime,
bottom tower is under attack.
So it looks like he is trying to set up more kills, maybe help Clairvoyance out a little bit, who is currently laying their ass on Sniper. These two other heroes in their tri-lane not really doing a ton. It looks like they're going to get another kill. Just catching the tail end of it. Universe, a killing spree now, just killing Ewo repeatedly. We have Smash going down the bottom lane. These heroes just getting absolutely destroyed by Bananas in Your Face. Can't even watch them all over the map. They're dying here mid, they're dying bottom. And if Clairvoyant starts getting these solo kills top as Riki, I'm just not going to know what to do. I'll have to watch all 3 lanes. Because even with the supports not having to roam together anymore, they're so far ahead in terms of levels. At the moment on their core heroes, like the Faceless Void, like the Viper. Viper actually sitting at level 6, 4 minutes into the game. So he's going to have that ultimate, and that leaves Huskar in a ton of trouble. It looks like Clairvoyance is going to lose his life in the top lane. Necrolite getting the last hit with that Death Pulse.
Starts at the head.
And a ping comes off from Clairvoyance. It's like, guys, why aren't you helping me? Not the lanes that we're already winning. We don't need to kill Huskar anymore. He's already dead forever. Looks like a push is coming out in this or top rather, tier 1. Already in quite a bit of trouble, down to about a 5th HP. And with this creep wave, with the catapult, it should be going down, but the cavalry is arriving. It looks like Viper's going to be porting in. No minute to do anything. Infinity immediately gets stunned. The stun also comes out from the fissure on Earthshaker. That's going to be the death of Nature's Necrolite. Looks like the glimpse. Pulling Sniper back in the meantime, Infinity trying to do whatever he can to kill Mystico. Sniper, he's not in a good spot. And it looks like Skeleton King will go down. And Sniper now going to die as well. So 3 kills going the way of the Infinity stack up in the top lane. And in the meantime, Chronosphere getting dropped by Universe in the mid lane. EWO and a lot of damage. No bashes though for Universe. Not what he wanted to see. Probably wanted one. Just to get that bonus damage, to get the additional stun out. Of course, it does do double damage in the Chronosphere. But that Faceless Void with a bottle. Not something you see every day. Solo mid Faceless Void with a bottle. He pops the ultimate, but it does force the Shadow Fiend back. He's going to have to bottle Crow quite a bit. Maybe he's just going to let his bottle be empty. Doesn't have the time to crow it, I guess? I don't know. Does look like some support has arrived in this mid lane in the form of Mystico on the Skeleton King. And in the meantime, it looks like maybe a gank coming out and smashing this bottom lane. Huskar just not a hero that's good at doing anything against Viper. Even if you get a lot of attack speed, a lot of damage, that Viper Strike really slows your attack speed. A 40% attack slow. It's kind of a big deal early on in the game. Yeah, I'm sorry for missing kills early on in the game. I'm definitely keeping up now. They go for a gank on Universe in the mid lane. Looks like he's going to be able to get out just fine with that time walk. So no big issue there. He did have that regen rune bottled as well, so he's just going to heal up back to full. Continuing to do pretty well in terms of farm. Viper actually leading on the board for last hits. Daiko with the phase boots up on the Sniper, trying to do as much damage as possible early on in the game. So it looks like they're going kind of aggressive, which is somewhat surprising considering what their lineup looks like. But they are already pretty far behind, 10-1 the kill score. And Mihawk chasing a Universe back. No ultimate up on him for 10 more seconds. Can they keep the tower alive for that long? Smash taking a lot of damage from the tower. Low on HP. Viper not going to be able to get there with the port in time. The Glimpse going to pull someone back. Here's Universe going in. He has the Chronosphere. It's up. Infinity gets the last hit. The Glimpse pulled, I think, Necrolite back, but he's way out of the fight now. Skeleton King gonna get caught in the connect field. Earthshaker's fissure lands at 2. 4 kills going the way of the Infinity stack, and they lose nothing. Keeping the tower alive as well. And GG just gets called by Daiko. He's done with this. They're just gonna forfeit. 7.5 minutes into the game. Artyk call it quits. No bueno. Just gonna give it up. So we will see the Infinity stack just take this game completely out of the reach of Artyk right away. 14-1, you know, 8 minutes in, that's not what, or 7.5 minutes in even. It's not what you want to see. It's not what you want for your team. So, that's going to be it for this game. Infinity, and do take it. Infinity stack. And we'll wait for the last player from either team to disconnect. So we can see that scoreboard. You can see exactly how much farm I guess everyone got, but it's not going to be a ton. There it goes. So let the scoreboard pop up for you guys. Once again, my name's Knaz. This was a broadcast in ATOD 3 tournament, North American group stage. We'll be back momentarily. We got a couple more games coming on tonight. Hopefully they're a little bit closer. Maybe the teams will be a little bit more prepared for the drafting. I don't know. But we'll be back momentarily. Thanks for coming. Feel free to stick around.